First want to go over the business problem or the purpose of the research. So, like every research project, we begin with a business problem. So, Earth has a limited amount of resources. So, yeah, right. It's a measurable size. If we keep taking single-use materials from the Earth, eventually we're going to run out of supplies, and it's going to be a big shock. So that's obviously it's not a very sustainable option. Recycling is more viable. And one of the literature reviews, as a matter of fact, it was actually emphasized that consumers, or just people in general using products that were recyclable, didn't particularly dislike recycling, but I also I cared about the environment too, and and just understood its impact towards the environment. You know, people understood that throwing something into the recycling bin was a lot better than throwing something into the general waste bin. Of that to go to the landfill instead of being reused into something that's of value again. So if people already know this stuff, then how come it's not consistent 100% of the time? So that's one of the gaps that we identified throughout this incredible journey. So another study, the recycling sorting performance from signage and the position of the bins does also impact the recycling behavior and the recycling consistency from the increase in knowledge aspects, you know, showing people what goes inside each recycling bin, whether it's paper, cardboard, milk jugs, all that great stuff. So indeed, yeah, knowledge of whether something is recyclable or not is a large determinant of proper recycling behavior. Universal recycling symbol is also very widely understood that when it is seen, it evokes emotion everyone thinks it's recyclable. And on top of this, the same symbol is often not in an obvious place. Is obviously it's not in a very obvious place either. And once you find that recycling symbol, you have to determine if it's still like recyclable by looking at the number that's surrounded by the chasing arrow symbol that you see on the right hand side of the slide here. And then you're not done there either. You have to check your local recycling depot to see if they accept it, and you can see if they give you a refund for that specific item, or if you should just throw it into the trash bin, because not all the items necessarily mean that it belongs in the recycling bin. So for instance, let's say we have this. Now let's say we bought this product and we're done using it for now. We no longer need this piece of whatever this product. We don't need it anymore, and we wish to dispose of it because it's no longer of value to us. So let's also say we had a report due the next day, and there was a big snowstorm, and we had to shovel our driveway, and we had to email our boss the same night too. Yeah, that's not good. You really don't have time to be standing in front of the recycling bin and trying to figure out if this belongs in it or not. Like that just doesn't work. Like nobody stands in front of the recycling bin for like 20 or 30 minutes just like staring at the plastic and trying to find like the recycling symbol, or trying to find whether it goes to their nearest recycling depot or something like that, you know, to see if they get a refund. Like, we're eventually going to make a decision at the end of the day. Like, we've obviously we're as consumers, we're very busy, and we're also really tired from our lives too. So this is just an extra task. It's like an extra burden that no one wishes to really face. So To summarize, if the rules of recycling are too complicated, then basically we'll just make up our own rules, and because it saves time and it uses less energy too. And for this item, we might decide that this is garbage instead of recycling. So we could say, for example, that this is just hypothetically. I'm not saying that everyone really does this, but let's say we're kind of looking around it. Recycling symbols right here, by the way. But let's say we miss it. Let's say we just it just it kind of slips our eyes. It's in the corner and it's not very obvious, and it's also pretty transparent too. Um, depending on the lighting, sometimes you really can't see. But yeah, anyway, so you miss this, and you just end up thinking that it belongs somewhere else. Like, it doesn't belong in the recycling bin, obviously, because it doesn't have the chasing arrow symbol. It just belongs in the trash, for instance. So if we spend all that time looking for it, and we finally make the decision to put this item in the trash, then if we go to buy the same item, whatever this was, yeah, anyway, if we go to buy the same item from the store, then the second time around, we're much less likely to spend, I'm not saying that this never happens, but we're much less likely to spend time looking for this recycling symbol if we've already made up our mind the first time that it belongs somewhere else. So on top of that, yeah, if we continue doing this, if we do this for like a third time or a fourth time or a fifth time, if we do this over and over and over again, if we don't place it in the recycling bin, don't put it in the proper place, don't recycle properly, then this is gonna eventually turn into a habit, a very strict, unbreakable habit. So yeah, from routine, we won't really be able to associate it with the recycling bin anymore, even though it has a recycling symbol right here. Well, we're not really looking for it anymore, and it just becomes a habit to just throw it into the bin. See, what the point is that our brain, if our brain has missing information, it tries to fill in the gaps. So, and it draws its own conclusions. If the missing information from elsewhere is too hard to obtain, it's just easier to draw our own conclusions. And hence that's why consumers don't really recycle properly. That's the main contributor.